You'd think after getting fined, arrested, and publicly humiliated about 7 times, Karen and her HOA squad would finally quit trying to mess with me. But apparently, HOA drama runs deeper than common sense. It started one Friday morning when I went to check the south fence line of my ranch. Except, there was no fence anymore. Instead, stretching across the property boundary like some kind of suburban Great Wall of stupidity was a brand new concrete wall. 10 feet high, freshly poured, painted beige, of course. I blinked, wondering if I'd wandered into the wrong century. There were workers out there, still smoothing cement and bolting on decorative iron letters that read, HOA community, private property. They'd literally sealed off the road that led to my south pasture. And worse, blocked access to my livestock's water line. I rode my ATV right up to them. "Morning, fellas," I said. "Quick question. Who ordered this wall?" One guy shrugged. HOA President Karen. Said this was the new neighborhood boundary. I stared at him. "Buddy, this is 40 feet inside my property." He hesitated. "She said it was abandoned land." Abandoned land. The same abandoned land that's had my cattle grazing on it every single day for 20 years. I took a deep breath. "All right, you guys stop right now. You're trespassing, and I'll handle this." 5 minutes later, I was standing at Karen's front door. She answered with that fake, sugary smile of hers. "Ah, hello," she said. "I see you've noticed our community improvement project." "Improvement," I repeated. "You built a wall across my property." She waved a hand dismissively. "The HOA board voted on it. We needed to establish a cleaner boundary. It's just aesthetic, no big deal." I chuckled. "Karen, you literally walled off my water access." She smiled tighter. "Then perhaps you should have filed a water-sharing agreement before the HOA expanded." I stared at her. "You're aware I own this land, right? You're building on my side." She tilted her head smugly. "That's up for interpretation." "Not legally," I said, pulling out my phone. "And you might want to start interpreting very carefully, because I'm about to make a call." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, please. What, you're gonna call the cops?" "I am the HOA." I smiled slowly. "No, Karen. I'm calling the court clerk." Her grin froze. "Court clerk? Why?" "Because," I said, "you're talking to Judge Michael Hale, County District Court." You could have heard a pin drop. That night, I sat down with my notes, survey maps, drone photos, and every single HOA complaint she'd ever sent me. By Monday morning, I filed an official injunction with the county, citing property encroachment, obstruction of utility access, and community harassment. 2 days later, the sheriff's office delivered the order to Karen's mailbox. By the end of the week, the entire HOA board was summoned to a courtroom hearing, presided over by, you guessed it, me. Now, legally I had to recuse myself from personally ruling on it, but I was still in the chamber that day, sitting quietly in the back row while another judge took the bench. Karen walked in like she was walking a red carpet. Hair done, folder in hand, that same overinflated confidence she always wore like armor. She opened her statement with, "Your Honor, this wall is essential to maintaining community security and uniformity." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Did you get the landowner's consent?" Karen smiled. "It was unclaimed. The bailiff brought up my property deed." The judge flipped through it, frowned, and said, "Ma'am, this deed clearly shows the land belongs to Mr. Hale. How could it be unclaimed?" Karen stuttered. "Well, we assumed." "You assumed incorrectly?" the judge said sharply. "And you constructed a permanent structure on private land. That's not beautification. That's illegal construction and property damage." The entire courtroom went silent. Karen tried to backpedal. "But it's just a wall." The judge cut her off. "Then you can just pay for its removal, along with any legal damages and fines." He looked straight at her. "Do you understand, ma'am?" She swallowed hard. "Why, yes, Your Honor." The ruling was swift. The HOA was ordered to tear down the wall within 10 days, restore the land to its original state, and pay restitution for utility interference, plus court costs. Total? About $62,000. When the demolition crew came back, I stood on my porch sipping coffee as they jackhammered the HOA community, letters off the wall. Karen stood nearby, sunglasses on, arms crossed, pretending she wasn't dying inside. I walked up to her. "Next time you want to build something," I said softly, "maybe start with a clue." She glared. "You think you're so clever." I grinned. "No, Karen. I just read the law." A month later, I got a certified letter from the HOA, this time signed by the new acting president. On behalf of the board, we apologize for any actions taken without proper authorization. HOA construction projects will now require verified land surveys and judicial review. I framed that letter right next to my law degree. And as for Karen, she stepped down from her HOA role shortly after. Rumor says she claimed it was due to stress. But around here, we all know the truth. She built a wall to trap me in and buried herself under it instead.